Hello. It is Wednesday and I thought I'd come on here just a few minutes early and get all the gadgets setting up and see if we can get everything. Look at it, it all connects within a minute, whereas usually it takes me, 2 minutes to get this set up. But I hope that you are going to be able to get a pen and a piece of paper, and then you will be able to make a note. There's lots of different sizes today, and I've tried to go ahead and do a lot of the prep work ahead of time just so we can put this together. As always, say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me whether it's on replay or whether you're managing to watch me live. It's going to be another chaos-filled adventure because I saw a card by a lady called Ave Renee, and it was super cute, and I'm like, I can recreate that with our fabulous Stampin' Up items. So you can see a few of them. I'm going to move more on to the screen so you can see them. We're going to be using Layers of Beauty. I know I've used that before, but a different way to colour them. When I used them the first time, I used them with the masks. You know, it comes with a bundle with all of these masks, and we just used blending brushes with the corresponding ink pads to colour them in. And if you can see, I did a peach one there, I did a purple one, just to give you some different colour combinations, but all done with the brushes and those masks, and then obviously there's coordinating dies. Now this is a set that's last chance. It is still available, but it has low inventory. So for this complete bundle, the reference number is 163519. For my Japanese ladies, Ichi-roku-san, go Ichi-Q. Possibly. Anyway, so Layers of Beauty. So that's the stamp set I used, and I've already gone ahead and stamped it. So I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, what did I colour it with? Well, I used the pencils. I haven't used the pencils for a while, and every time I use them, it reminds me just how much I love them. I have both boxes, 161700 and 149014. So I used the garden green out of this box, and then I mixed it with Calypso Coral. So even though you're going to see different shades, these are the only two pencils out of these boxes that I actually used. Okay, so Calypso Coral and Garden Green were the colours. I'm going to use them out just in case I decide I want to add a little bit more colour. All right, another thing I also used was the Stampin' Cut and emboss. It's the Birch Wood dies. Okay, I love this huge die. It's a 6x8 die. Reference number is 164069. So Ichi-Roku Yon Zero Roku Q. Okay, it was $12. It's on a last chance. Hi Kathy. And it's actually been reduced. It's now down to $9.60, and it's while supplies last. So if you love this, it's great. I think it almost looks like water, or even like sky. It looks almost like clouds when you turn it sideways, or it could be water, you know, ripples on the water, as if you use small sections in this less detailed areas. Obviously these larger areas look like the wood grain, but this smaller area looks like those long clouds or water reflections. Okay, so remember, this is on the clearance. It's already been reduced in price, so if you like it, this is the time to get it. And I've already done all of this ahead of time to save time. So the final thing that we're going to be using, apart from cardstock, obviously, I'm going to decorate with some of the new, they're new to me, I only just got them in, the iridescent pearls, 158987. We're going to be decorating with those at the end. But the main thing I'm going to use is the arch dies. Now, you've seen me, again, use these. I don't use them a lot, and I saw this card and I'm like, man, we are getting these out. 164629, so Ichi-Roku Yon Roku ni Q. Okay, so the arch dies, and I got out the 6, so there are 10 dies in the set. Okay, you can see 4 still on the sheet, and you can see the other 6 here on my mat, and these are the 6 that I used on this particular card, right? Let's say a few hellos. Who is here? Kathy said hello. Anybody else? Hi, Fiona. Fiona's here with us too. So yeah, so 6 of these dies that I'm going to use, and I'm going to show you what I used. I have used 2 of the largest die. So this die is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that is this die. And I've cut it out twice. Oops, they all slither around with my long nails. Okay, so I cut it out of crumb cake, and I also cut it out of white. So there's actually 2 pieces here. Okay, and what I like about these dies, if I hold it up, I hope you can see, they have this stitched edging just to give that little bit of detail, which I really like. So I used 2 of that first size, and then I used 1 of the next size down. Okay, so it's going to give you just that small overlay, and so here is this die. So I cut the die first, and then I ran it through that embossing folder, because I don't want to crush any of the detail. And the nice thing about these dies is you can have them with the texture side up, or you can have them with the texture side down. I have chosen for this project to have the texture going down. I want the flatter surface on the top, and as you can see, when I layer up those 2 dies, they fit beautifully. They nest together. And I don't know, they are just referred to as the everyday arch dies. That's what they are. So that will fit on there. Okay, so I then went ahead, and you can see if I lay them out, I went and used the next 2 sizes. So we're using the 4 biggest sizes, and I did exactly the same thing. Cut those 2 dies, and this time there's only 1 each. There's 3 of the 2 of the larger one of the next size down, 1 of the next size down, 1 of the next size down. Okay, is this making any sense at all? So that is that second set, and so you can see if I nest them all together, you can see those 4 dies. I then skipped a die. I skipped a die on purpose. Okay, so I then skipped die number 5. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I skipped 5, and then I'm going to use 6 and 7, and I'm not using 8, 9, and 10. Does that help? Okay, so again, cut the same 2 pieces out. All right, and then again, I've already gone ahead and distressed all of these. All right, is everybody good with that? So I used 1, 2, 3, 4, skipped 5, used 6 and 7, skipped 8, 9, and 10. All right, I also have a piece of cardstock, and you can make it as big or as small as you want. I've only made it small. I've made it about 1 3/4 inches by 7 inches, approximately. You can make it wider, but obviously it can't be any wider than that. All right, and I've scored it at the 1 inch mark, the 2 inch mark, the 3 inch mark, and the 4 inch mark. How long is this piece? Doesn't matter, as long as it isn't any bigger than this die. Okay, so I could have taken it all the way to the edge. It doesn't matter. I could have made it smaller. I just had this scrap piece left, and that's the piece it is. So this is in fact 1.75 by 7, but the important thing is you're going to score it at 1, 2, 3, and 4 inches. Okay, those are all the pieces. All right, so like I told you, I've already gone ahead and I have cut the pieces out. All right, so let me just separate these out. I'm just going to move my dies out the way. You should have written that down. If you missed them, go back and watch the video. All right, I don't know what you want from me. It's gonna, the Chaos Goblin is loud and proud today. All right, so I told you that I had gone ahead and I have cut out some of the dies, and you can see this one isn't even cut out properly, and it'll make sense in a minute. So yes, there is a matching die to match these flowers. Did I use the matching die? No, I actually used my scissors just because I wanted the line really tight to the flowers, and I'm going to go ahead and trim them again. I'm going to just move those two pieces out of the way. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stick, and I'm going to use my Tombow liquid glue, because obviously this is uneven. It is not a flat surface. This will give me some wiggle room, but it will also get into all of those little areas and help me stick these layers down. Now, I just coloured the pencil with the pencils, as you can see. I have not, oh gosh, my nails are, yeah, I'm going to have to take the emery board to these nails and take them down a little bit. As you can see, I've coloured them with pencil. You could also colour them in with the Stampin' Blends, the markers. You could colour them in using a paintbrush and the ink pad and picking up ink that way. You could use the masks that come in the bundle. It's entirely up to you. It really doesn't matter how you colour it. You could leave them white. White flowers on a white background. You know I love my white on white. I occasionally get into my white on white era, but today I am not. Today I just wanted a little bit of colour. And my inspiration for this colour combination, the garden green with the Calypso Coral and the lighter shade, actually comes from this paper here. That's the colours that were printed in this paper, so I used the Stampin' Up paper as my inspiration for the colour combination on this card. All right, so we are going to decorate them, and I am not going to stay within the boundaries of these flowers. It'll make sense in a second. I want to use these flowers to decorate my arch, okay? So I want to make sure that my arch has the 3D foam on it. And I'm going to stick just a couple down, okay? Then I can rearrange it, because what I'll do, once I've stuck them down, I will just trim it off, okay? But I need to make sure that I can add in more. But I just need to get those first two in, because that will help me position that like so. Okay, now I'm going to take my take a pick tool, and using that little hooky thing, I'm then going to use it to stick underneath various leaves, so I can just anchor those down where I want them to be. Hang on. Oh, eek. There we go. I moved it as I was doing it. All right. And then once I get this end one in, I can stick a few more around the edge. Okay, I know I'm making it look really difficult. It really isn't. And what you could also do, if it makes it easier, you could cut your flowers, which maybe you should, hey, how about finding an easier way to do it? This is the larger one. Because you need to do it around the larger die, not the smaller die. Take your flowers, position them where you want, run it through, and then you know it would fit. How about them apples, apart from making life difficult? But if you have an urge to make life difficult like I do, you can absolutely do it like this, right? Okay, once you've got it in place, you're going to take your favorite scissors and you're just going to follow the line of the cardstock. It would be absolutely so much easier to die cut these. But hey, 20/20 hindsight's a beautiful thing. It's been a bit stressful this afternoon. All right, how about that? Isn't that pretty? All right, you know we're going to do the same thing with this one, right? So I do have some words before I go any further. Okay, so let me bring in my words and my other panels. I chose to use the words to go with this set, right? So I have to take this into consideration when I'm putting this down, okay? So let me just stick this down. And you can make this piece however big you want. I have made it approximately 2 inches by, and it's approximately 1 3/4 by 2 1/4, approximately, depending on the size of the dies you are using. You can make it any size you like, but you're going to be able to write on that section. And then I might even pop this piece up here. I don't know. All right, let's do this piece. Now, I didn't do this piece on purpose. I haven't stuck these two together because I stamped on the end of that, and I just wanted to show you just how easy it is to colour in with those pencils. And let's just add a little bit of green. I don't know whether that's a flower or what, but it's going to be a leaf now because it can be. And again, make you, depending on what saying you're doing, you could do happy birthday, you could do thinking of you, you could do, it's a whisk along actually. Let's just take a smidge off that one. I don't usually do this with scissors, but I'm going to. Look at my matching my roses. Yes, they do, don't they? Hi, Kylie. There we go. We'll just snip that off. I don't usually do it like that, but I'm absolutely going to. Okay, I'm going to pop this up. Let's use the, where's my tool? Might as well use a tool as opposed to get tape up my nails, right? I know Kylie's watching from Australia. Where else is everybody watching from? Okay. And I'm only going to just lie it on the top because then I can move it if I need to. All right, I've cut this large flower out. Oh, I really like this. I don't want to chop off all those leaves. Okay. Okay, so let's pull that up. Let's see. Oh, let's put it this way. I really do want those flowers on, but I don't want to hide, so let's move it down, Sarah, and let's move it across. All right, so because I'm keeping this, and this will go just underneath, right? I'm going to keep that across the top. I'm just going to put the tape all over the back of this thing. This largest die is 4 inches wide, so you know it's going to go into a regular envelope. So it doesn't really matter if I hang off the edge of this card, just a whisker, because obviously a standard card size is 4 1/4, right? So, and you can use this just to pick off all the bits. Look how easy that is. Boom. Not that one apparently, but all the others are coming off, and they all get stuck to your take a pick tool and not the carpet. I love that. Bada bing, bada boom. How about I just, you know, I'm going to snip that one off. I don't want that little traily bit. I'm going to just cut it off at an angle so it looks like there. So then it looks like it comes down into that grouping there. I like that. Okay. So we've got 1, we've got 2. I know I've got more roses to go on this one. I don't know how much of these I wanted until I got it all put together. I just wasn't sure. Okay. We may have to get rid of this little leaf here. Oh, it sucks to be a leaf, doesn't it? I can always stick it back on. I'm not worried about that. You make my heart smile. Right, I'm going to put it on down there. So again, let's put, I'm looking for my, and I can use the bigger tape because it's going to go right on the edge. Okay, just to anchor it down. Yeah. Right, and then I know we're going to need another piece on the corner. So let's just, I like this curved hooky end. So you get all the technical terms with the Chaos Goblin. Always, right? Always. I'm trying to get that there. All right, I'll come back in with some more in a minute. And do the same thing again. And depending on how big your saying is, depends on how much of the flowers you're going to see. And then I'm just going to put some more underneath here because obviously we don't want this flapping around like a flag in the breeze. And there we go. Look how pretty that is. Oh, me likey. Me likey, me likey. Right, let's do the last bit. Okay. Okay, let's find the glue. I apologise if I'm a little discombobulated this evening. I'm starving. The boys have gone out to get pizza. My husband has gone back to England, so we're all going to starve. you know what happens, right? I'm going to pop this one up for sure. I think it's pizza tonight. I've managed to cook for the last, well, ish. I made an attempt at cooking for the last 2 nights, but it's absolutely pizza tonight. All right, and this one, I'm going to, and of course I've just overlapped that tape too much. Have I? Oh, no, I'm good. Right, this one is going to come up like that. So I'm going to trim, I'm going to, because it's pretty close to the size I need, I'm just going to stick it down, and then if I have to cut through the tape, so be it. So be it. All right. All right, Sarah. More haste, less speed. That's what my dad used to say. Okay, so I can get that leaf to come up through it. Apparently I have 74 pairs of scissors on my desk right now. I think I've used a different pair for each time I've cut. Okay, right, we have another piece. That's got to come up from the bottom, but we can put this piece up here. Yes, 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 yes. And then we're going to attach it. And so it actually goes together really quickly. Once you've prepped all the pieces, you can absolutely put it together however you know, it goes together really quickly. So where do I want this piece? I think we need this piece here. And we'll just pop that up and just make sure I don't put any adhesive along this edge, because I'm going to have it hanging off just a little bit. So we'll keep the adhesive more or less that side. All right. There's a brand new pizza place near us run by some English dudes, and they have a butter chicken, so like a curry flavoured pizza. It is to die for. If you're anywhere around here and you want to try something new, go to them and you can try their butter chicken pizza. It's phenomenal. All right, here we go. Let's put this together. I think you've probably guessed at this point how it goes together, but I'll walk you through it. So you're going to do that. There's your 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch and 4 inch scores. And we are going to put adhesive along the back like that. And we're going to take our largest one, and I'm just going to lay it along that bottom edge, just a whisker in from that fold. Okay, because you need it to be able to fold across. All right, so it's not going to look very pretty on the back. I mean, obviously, because it's the right colour cardstock, you don't really see it. But if you wanted to make it pretty, you could put a white piece on the back. It would hide it. It would keep it all neat. Plus, it gives some additional space to write a message, right? Oh, it's a common pizza flavour over there. Dang, girl, I need to come and visit you. I'm having hot cross buns breakfast. Yes, queen, I can't buy them here, but I can make them myself, and I do, because I make bread. So I make a really good hot cross bun. Okay, so the next one is going to go on here. Obviously, be a little bit careful with your adhesive. Don't be squidging it too near the edge, otherwise it's going to squirt out and it will glue your card shut. Okay, we do not want a glued card. Well, we don't want to glue it shut anyway. All right, and then the front one is going to go on the front. And how flipping cute is this? Please tell me you are loving it and you're oohing and ahhing in the background, as I was when I was trying to hold it all together and go, OMG! Lovey, lovey, lovey. Look at this. It will stand. Look how pretty. So pretty. Okay, let's put some gems on it. Now, do I have any flowers left that I could add in? I've got a bit of a leaf there. Do I need to add that in up here? Because now I can go back in and foo-foo-la-la even more. I don't think I do, actually. I actually like it. It looks like a little garden gate. So you can still write your message there. You can open it up like a book if you want. You've still got room on the back if you want. Let's add some pearls. pearls and be done, right? Okay, so here we go with the, let's show you the easiest way to put pearls on. Yes, you can use your tool if you want to. The easiest way for me, and I'm going to put them in the centers of my flowers, and these come in large ones and then a medium one and then a small. No, there could be just two sizes. Does it say just two sizes? Oh, there are two sizes, 3mm and 4mm, and you get 150 of them. You get loads. All right, so let's use the smaller one. So slide it to the edge of your sheet. Put your finger on top of it. Pull the sheet away, the gem's in the right place. How about that? I am going to put some larger ones in every so often because it needs some larger ones. So put your finger on, even with my silly nails. Right, so slide it to the edge of the sheet, put it into place, hold it still. And this, the centre of this flower is a whisker larger. It's more oval than the regular ones are. Let's just open it up, out of the way. There we go. This, oh, I want another type. I want another small one on this one. It's only because the 3D foam tape is there. It makes it a little bit more awkward. And you, as I say, you can open it like a book as well. It would have been easier doing that way, wouldn't it, when I was putting the gems on? But hey, the Chaos Goblin is not known for doing things simply, right? If there's a difficult way to do it, this goblin will find it. Okay, so let's just scatter some pearls around. Oops. Okay, let's do a small one up there as well. Just have a collection of little pearls. I love that. And then again here, let's do a couple of small ones. The only thing, if you're going to put gems onto embossed cardstock, make sure that you give them a bit of a push to make them stay where you want them to stay, because they do have a habit. If they're sort of half on a raise and half on a lower bit, they can lift off. So just give them an extra firm little push and make them stay where they're meant to be. Put one there. Oh, I've done that one, this side. Right, last edge. You know, I still do think it needs something up there. Oh, I've got these flowers. Oh! No, they look like they're upside down, so I can't do that one. Oh, yes. Let's tuck those up so they all come up the side. Ha! See, I knew it needed more. I just couldn't figure out. You see, I've got adhesive on my nail already. Right, this time it needs to be this side. Okay, we're going to end up losing a couple of leaves off the edge of this, but that's okay. We can manage. Ooh, listen to that squeak. Yeah, it does. It just looks like a little garden gate. So I can still go in even though it's assembled and just trim. Follow those edges. Ha, perfect. Okay, just because I haven't glued these down, if I glue these down completely flat, you won't catch them underneath. I haven't because of speed, but if you felt you needed to glue down those edges a bit more, you absolutely can. Right, let's see if I can get this one in the middle. There we go. And then one up here on this one. And isn't this so pretty? I am super happy with it. And, you know, with 150 gems in a pack, you can absolutely go to town. Don't make it look like it's got measles, but you can absolutely add more. I think that is so pretty. Do you love it? So I'm grateful for you. You make my heart smile. So I'm going to look at these pencils just for a minute, because you can see I've got all these different colours, and I told you there were just 2 pencils. So my trick for the pencils is sharpen it, and then on a piece of scrap paper, just rub it until you've got a flat edge. That way you can do a really soft colouring with barely any colour. And then if you increase the pressure, and as I colour, I'm going to just increase the pressure as I go down. Oh, just broken my nib, but never mind, I can redo it. You can see the difference in colour you can get from just one pencil. So you've got 1, 2, 3, at least 4 colours from each pencil. And the same thing with this. Make sure you've got a nice flat edge. and then again, very, very gently, and then bring in a little bit more cut pressure, and then a little bit more pressure. You can go over it to build up the colour, and then you can really give a firm pressure, and you can get a more solid look. So again, you can see all of that gradient of colour. Just one pencil will give you 3 or 4 different tones of that same colour. So that's how I got all the different shades of the green leaves and the Calypso coral flowers. I love it. Hope you love it too. Please join me next week for another chaos filled class. Actually, today's wasn't too chaotic, was it? It was actually a pretty good class. I was pretty on track for this particular class. I hope you've had fun. I hope I've shown you some fun things to do. If you don't have these products, head on over to my website, sarabatkin.stampinup.net. As I say, take advantage of those 2 items that are reduced. The one that's reduced and the one is low inventory, so very limited time to get it. And then I'll see you next week. All right, loves. Bye.